We have a juicy neighbor story today, and this one is titled, I think my neighbor is sneaking into my house. I don't know if I'm gonna sleep tonight, and that's okay. This story came May 6th, 2026. It is fresh, like a Little Caesars pizza. Hot and ready, baby. Canadians will know. I don't know if they have a Little Caesars in the US. I'm a man in my 20s that lives alone on the very top floor of an apartment block. I've had short hair for the last 10 years of my life. The longest hair on my head is maybe an inch long, if that even. However, across my house, I keep finding long hairs on the floor. Like long brunette hairs at least 5 to 6 inches. I promise it's not me, you guys. I fit the description, it's not me. Sometimes they're even longer, and they would be everywhere. Bathroom floor, in the shower, in my cupboard, in my kitchen, on old clothes, living room floor, and sofas, etc. I've been single since November, and I clean often enough that I'm certain it is not my ex-girlfriend's hairs. Plus, the color doesn't match anyway. She had solid black hair. These are more of a light brunette. Okay, well, I'm a dark brunette, so I have an alibi. Plus, finding them in places like the shower, where running water is hitting all the sides 5 times a week. Anyway, I waved it off as, well, I work with a lot of people and I use the gym and bus sometimes, so naturally, hairs are going to stick to my clothes. Well, one day, this past April, I finished my early morning gym session and I got the call that I didn't have to go to work that day, so naturally, I started to walk home all happy that I have the day to myself. I'm on the 5th floor, the uppermost floor of the building, and the apartment is in such a way that there is only one apartment per floor. I start to hustle up the stairs and don't use the elevator since I'm sweaty from the gym anyway. Just as I whip to my right to go up the last set of stairs from the 4th floor to the 5th floor, I see my neighbors on the 3rd floor, their daughter coming down the stairs. We lock eye contact. We've never spoken before, mostly because we've never had any reason to, but also because out of respect, I didn't want to make her uncomfortable since she seems to be 19 to 21-ish, and I'm slightly older. The most interaction we've had is that I've spoken to her mother and father before when bumping into each other on the stairs. I just gave a confused hello. At this point, I'm thinking that maybe she went to knock on my door to ask for something? A cup of sugar, maybe? I don't know. I was expecting her to reply with something like, oh, hi, do you have any whatever? Nope. She gave me a silent hey, and just brushed right past me. And only then, when the smell of my own shampoo hit me, did I notice her hair was wet, like fresh out of the shower a minute ago wet. Now, I'm not saying that she is showered in my house or that I have a stalker that's been living in my house while I'm at work. She very easily could have just been there to ask for something. And most generic brand shampoos smell the same. But don't the pieces all fit a bit too well? Her hair color matches the hairs that I find all over my apartment. And like I said before, they were everywhere. In my bed, my sock drawers. And if it is a case of me having a stalker, how did she know that I came home early enough to bolt out of the shower in time? Our apartment does not have cameras. It's an older building from before 2000. And why would she be stalking me? For how long has she been doing this? We've never dated, never even had a proper conversation. I maybe saw her 20 times in the past 2 years, given that I work, and she studies or works too, I assume. All of these thoughts are buzzing through my head, and I'm standing outside my door for a solid 2 minutes, grappling with what just happened. I go to turn the key to my door and it opens without me having to unlock it. And I know for a fact I always double check my door. It's the type with a lock near waist level and a second, more secure lock with a different key around shoulder level. I drop my bag, throw my shoes, and I run to the shower. And yep, it's wet. I haven't showered since yesterday morning. I'm a confrontational person, not that I go looking for fights, but I'll definitely pursue an answer if something is bugging me. So back down the stairs to the 3rd floor I went, knocked on the door of my apparent stalker and her family. She opens the door, but with the chain still on. I see half of her face from behind the door. Yes, Can I help? Were you at my door or inside? I don't want to make this a police thing now, but you came down the stairs and I know that you were inside. I just had to get something. It won't happen again. Bye. And she closed the door. This happened last month. I've been cleaning my house every weekend closely now, and I got the locks changed and put a motion sensor camera above my door. It only films and triggers on the steps coming up to my door, so the fourth apartment still has their privacy. So far, so good. I don't think she has been inside since. But looking back, I think she'd been living in or going into my apartment since January because that's my earliest memory of finding hairs. She never took anything of value like my laptop or the few watches that I have. Seemingly, she just showered and ate some of my food and laid in my bed. I do now always take the elevator and avoid the third floor like the plague. But how did she keep getting into your house? Does she make herself a key if you've locked it? Also, how do you just take that as an answer? Someone showered in your house and they're like, oh, I had to get something, bye. I would not let it stop there. That's insane. He did add an edit to this, and he said, I'm not really worried about my safety because number one, I'm a 200-pound dude and I do a lot of fighting and training. And number two, the new camera has never gone off once since installed other than myself triggering it when I'm home. And number three, I told the old retired husband and wife on the fourth floor that I suspect a robber was trying to break into my apartment last month. I didn't want to start spreading rumors and gossip, so I just asked them to keep their ear out when I'm at work. I feel fine and safe. I'm just creeped out. Like my personal space has been violated. Someone DM'd me to check my coats and bags for air tags as to how maybe she knew I was coming home early that day. I don't have a lot of stuff, so I think I would have 100% found it by now, given how often I clean, but I will definitely do another sweep of my stuff. I feel like you're being so chill about this. So chill.
How are you so calm?
In your bed, using your clothes from what you're suspecting. You know she showered in there. I don't know. We need to know why. Why is she showering in there? How did she get in? Does she still have the key? I know you changed locks, but like, how did she get a key the first time?
So many questions.
You guys know where we're going. We are going right to the comment section. Someone said, is it possible she had a set of keys from the prior owner of your apartment? Sometimes neighbors leave keys with each other when they go away to water plants, feed animals, take mail in, or whatever. Or if you did change them when you moved in, did you ever lose your keys? Is there a window she could have gotten in through? However she managed it, she was probably using your place as her own personal getaway space away from her family. I can't believe she would have the guts to do that, and it's super creepy to know someone invaded your privacy and was in your home on multiple occasions. I don't think I would ever sleep there again. I would move. He responded and said, I moved in before her family, if I'm not mistaken, like a year beforehand, so I doubt that they would have any leftover spare keys from the previous tenants, who I never even met. It never occurred to me to change the locks when moving in, mostly because I live in a small town that has like one mugging a year. Low crime, so. Also, the window is impossible. I'm on the 5th floor and all my windows look out to the building, so unless she's Spider-Man, it's not happening. I'm 99% sure now, following other comments, that she went to a locksmith, maybe lied about ID or something to get some illegal keys. Bad enough she invaded my privacy, but she helped herself to everything in my house too, like even my bed, it seems. How are you so chill? Go talk to her parents. Like, what do you mean? Why are we so chill about this? I am doing far more than just a camera and changing the locks. We need to get down to the bottom of what happened here. Next comment. It's possible the previous owner had a spare key hidden somewhere and she found it. Hiring a locksmith to make her a key seems crazy, though obviously the whole situation is pretty crazy however she got the keys. He said, outside my front door is a small shoe cupboard cupboard-like thing left from the previous tenants, and that's it. It's just a wooden box with my shoes in it, and that's it. My spare keys are with a close family member's house. Again, I would be surprised if it's an older key that she's gotten a hold of. But yeah, at this point, it's all speculation and nothing would surprise me. But if I had to bet money, I would suspect she used her ID to convince the locksmiths, because things like driver's license have addresses on them in my country, and I doubt a locksmith would even check the apartment number. True, because if you guys live at the same address, which you do, they might have just done a quick little look and they didn't notice the difference in the apartment number. What lengths she went to, though, to go and do that makes this entire thing even more creepy. And last comment, I assume she was locking up after herself all the other times. She just didn't get a chance to lock it when you came home early. He said, yeah, that's why I think she might have known I was coming home early that day, as opposed to my usual 5 to 6 p.m. arrival, because I'd have noticed the first time my door was locked back whenever it was the first time she did it. Bizarre. This story is so insane. Luckily, we have some updates, and the first one came May 12th. 2026. My cousin's husband is a police officer, so I went to him directly about filing a report. He came over to my apartment first, as I gave him a visual breakdown of what happened on the stairs and changed odd things that I had noticed in my apartment since January. Primarily just hairs everywhere and missing food, and how my door was unlocked that day. Though I did a thorough clean following the event on the stairs, my police friend was still able to find some hairs, and so he bagged those up. I gave him my statement in detail and some dates the best I could, when I first remember finding the first hair and when I first noticed food missing, etc. Also, he advised me not to talk to the family, not even with a friend, to avoid any confusion or get lawyers involved or muddy the waters with accusations. With all that done, he left and came back 2 to 3 days later. He and his partner went to talk to the family on Sunday because they knew both parents would likely be home then. Long story short, she confessed to everything immediately and broke down into tears and apologized once my police friend brought up how 5 months of entering someone's house, even with a key, is still very much an offense, and she could easily end up with a sentence of some should I pursue it. And that sentence could very easily involve the inside of a jail cell, regardless of if she stole something or not. I don't know how true that is. It might have been just my friend and his partner pressing and exaggerating for a confession, but it worked. They talked for an hour with the parents and her, all in the same room, to get answers from her. Then the same day, he came up to mine with his partner and they gave me the breakdown. Here are all the answers to commonly asked questions. Yes. I love when they do point form and just give it to us. All right, so how did she get in or have her own keys? The locks on our doors are the type that use a code on the lock barrel that only the manufacturer or partnered and approved locksmiths have access to. She knew this because her parents got the locks changed when they first moved in. And in fact, she used the same locksmith from all the way back then. The locksmith presumably remembered the family and apartment, but just didn't pay attention to it being the 5th floor this time instead of her 3rd floor. So he came over and took the barrel out, saw the code, went and made a set of keys and finished. I was none the wiser. Both my locks on my door are different brands, but presumably they operate in the same way, so having 2 locks made no difference. That's crazy. Next, what was she doing inside my apartment? Anyone who said she just needed space, you were right. She has 2 younger step-siblings and her mother is a tutor. So at any given point, there's always some kind of kids around the house. She would say to her parents that she was going out to study or work, or to go to a friend's house and use my house as a hotel while she either studied or relaxed. The reason she used mine was partly because she knew it would be empty, but also because my schedule was predictable. As I work an average 9 to 5 like everyone else, but leave the house at 6 to 6:30 to get my gym workout done, that essentially gave her the house from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Crazy. How long has this been going on for? My guess was right. It started in January, once she figured I had broken up with my girlfriend around November. My girlfriend would stay at mine when I went to work and back sometimes, so yeah, that would have been interesting if they had crossed paths. That girlfriend would have been so confused. She probably would have thought you were cheating on her with someone younger. Next, so then how did she know I was coming home early that day and that I wasn't going to go to work straight after the gym like usual, and so she bolted out of the shower? Or on the days I didn't go to the gym, how did she know to just not come in? Twofold. Firstly, I go to a commercial gym in my country, and so they have an app. Regardless of if you're a member or not, one of the things the app lets you see is how many people are in each branch so you can see how full it is. All you have to do is download it and scan the QR code at the entrance by the turnstiles to add it to the My Gym tab. It literally shows you like branch number 21 with the address, 9 out of 50 people, 18% full. So she would refresh the app in the morning, and if it went up by 1 around 6 to 6:30 and she heard me go downstairs or use the elevator, then she would know the house is empty. She's kind of a genius, which is worse, to be honest. Now for the creepiest, most messed up part of it all. She had put an air tag on my car. She insisted that she had only put it in recently and initially just gambled that I wouldn't be home sooner than expected. Or maybe she just put an ear to the door, but then one thing led to another, and yeah, that day when we clashed, she refreshed the app and saw that I left the gym, but then my car didn't move, so she connected the dots and just tried to leave ASAP. When she heard me coming up the stairs, she didn't have time to lock, so we just met on the stairs with my door remaining closed but not locked. Extra detail, the AirTag was stuck underneath my car. This girl's crazy. All for some free. I get wanting your space, girl, but go to a park, go to a library, go to a coffee shop. Like, you don't get to just use someone's house.
No way, Jose!
Next, the use of my shower. She claims she didn't do it always, just on hot days or days that she couldn't at home. I can't deny or confirm this. Like I said previously, being a gym goer, I shower 5+ times a week. Next, how did her parents never notice? Well, the dad leaves early for work, 5 a.m.-ish, since his bus route starts around 6. The mom is up around 6 to 7 a.m., but since she's preparing for her own students for the day, plus her own kids to send to school, she wasn't too bothered what her eldest 20-year-old daughter was really doing. She would just say, I'm going to the college library, or I'm going to my girlfriend's, and that is good enough. Yeah. Like, once she walks out the door, you're not like following to where she's going for the day. Did she have a thing for me, like a crush? My police friend didn't really say anything about this. Presumably, he never asked since it's not important as all the other details, or it just never came up. And honestly, it makes little difference. Bizarre. We got a lot more questions and details that he gave us. But first, I need a sip of water, and so do you. Drink your water today. It's Hydration Station, the time where I remind you to take a sip of water. Because I love you. Cheers. You guys know that we're real friends when I start sharing you my barbaric nails. Look at, I've lost 3 on this hand and 1 on this hand already. I kind of rushed the prep for these ones, and that is very much determines like how long your fake nails will last. Usually my press-ons last me at least 2 weeks. Not so much this set. I will never do that again. Look at this. Look how, like, just take them off, Joss. Next up, how are my standings with the family right now? The mom and dad both apologized to me, the mom via text and the dad in person at my door. He offered to pay for the camera I installed as his daughter was the direct cause of it, but it was a cheap one off Amazon, so I said no, it's fine. We had a 10 to 15 minute conversation and he was very apologetic and explained his daughter had always been extremely quiet and well behaved, so something like this would have never crossed his mind in a million years. He added that his daughter has never had a boyfriend and has only a few friends, so her social interaction skills aren't necessarily top-notch, and that even when guests would come over, she would just hide away in the spare room. So, to the few people who predicted that maybe COVID and the lockdown led her to not having some good social interaction skills, you were half right. He again offered me money for my troubles like missing food, new locks, cleaning, but I felt bad enough already that I declined. He did also also asked if I would press charges, and I said no. More on that down below. He said he will send his daughter to apologize to me in person when the whole situation has calmed down, as she is apparently very, very tense and upset and hasn't left her room in days. Well, yeah, number one, embarrassing. Number two, now you have nowhere to hide out every day. And number three, if he did press charges, you would probably be going to jail. To some extent. I don't know. What would you go to jail?
Right to jail, right away.
So next up, am I going to press charges? No. I'm still not happy about the situation, especially the effing AirTag on my car, but the family is apologetic, as well as the culprit herself, and honestly, no one is going to gain anything from this. I would like an apology though. For anyone that cares about the extra detail, she got the AirTag as a gift a while back from her parents because she kept losing her stuff. And instead of using it on her own stuff, she put it underneath your car. Crazy. Have I seen her since? No, she won't apparently leave her room and is terrified that I'm going to press charges, though presumably her family has told her that I said I will not. Next, how do I currently feel? Well, I was never especially worried or nervous, just really creeped out about the whole situation. It felt like I would have a parasite host and somehow never noticed until then. I personally still feel a little angry, and a small part of me is thinking to seek revenge, but any revenge I seek, like money or slander, is truthfully going to impact the parents more than her. That is true. Do I feel bad for her? Truthfully, no. She's not 10, she's 20 or something and educated. So yeah, you should be remorseful, feel guilty, and scared. Get over that hump and we'll talk. Plus, there's loads of spaces for young adults like public libraries and also her college spaces. By no means was my house the only viable option. Also, it's just not an option even if it was the only one. We don't get to just do that. Did she use my bed or wear my clothes? Believe it or not, yes, she did both. That's wild. Any advice that I can give? Check your Wi-Fi devices. If I had checked that, I would have noticed her phone and laptop all the way back when. Obviously, my Wi-Fi modem is in my house, and so she helped herself to that. Again, it's one of those things. How often does one check their Wi-Fi devices? Truthfully, with all my family visiting me and their devices, I probably wouldn't have even noticed one extra phone amongst the existing 10 plus. But I 100% would have noticed the one extra laptop. So let that be a lesson to all. And yes, I removed her devices from the list, and I also changed my password. I would have never thought of that. Let's go check out the comment section. Someone said, I would tell the parents that I will press charges unless she gets therapy and either joins a club or activity with other people or gets a job. If the parents could hire someone to take her out to experience to see things, learn to interact with others, kind of like a social tutor, she could really benefit from that. Next comment, yikes, this is insane behavior. I know you're in the same building, but maybe a restraining order? She went through a lot of trouble to be in your place, duplicating locks and keys, timing your arrival and departure, putting an AirTag on your car, using your place, wearing your clothes, stealing your food. This girl is not okay. You need to protect yourself even if you don't press charges. I'm curious to know what you guys would do. Would you guys press charges? Would you get a restraining order? Or would you like to just move past it? He responded and said, I've got a camera now, and more importantly, her parents are avidly aware of everything, so I really don't see the need for any major concern. Next comment, she needs to face some consequences because once things quiet down, you think she'll resist figuring out a workaround on your camera? Or what if she chooses to do this to someone else? This woman is nuts, whose immediate thought is to con a locksmith to create duplicate keys, download a gym app, and then put an AirTag on your car. She felt entitled to your space and did whatever she wanted to do to gain access to it. Ask for reimbursement, but not from the father, from her. Make the stalker get a job so she can pay you back. I don't understand why you feel bad about a situation you didn't create. She knowingly used your private residence as hers for a whole 5 months. I feel like he's taking this so lightly. This is wild. He did respond to that and said, to be honest, honest, those are all very good ideas. Once things settle down a tad, I'll pick it up again and insist that she goes to some kind of therapy or gets a job for her free time. There's a good chance her family is already looking into this. I really don't think she'll do it again. She's obviously not a serial breaking individual, or she would have gone crazy on the whole apartment or town. I get the feeling she was committing to the one crime and getting away with it, but now that she's been busted, she'll hide back into her shell and never come out. Well, you better hope so, I guess. Let me know what you guys think on this one. Would you have handled it differently? Would you be pressing charges? What would you do? Let me know. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.